what a great day in Vegas today. It's only 86 degrees. That's right, September, 86 degrees. Yeah, it gets hot in Vegas. I'm driving out to see a new client. Gonna show him some condos. And I want to go ahead and take this time. Don't want to waste a good drive. Talk to you guys about something that's been on my mind. And you know, here's the issue that not only myself but other realtors have. It's rentals, leases, whatever you want to call them. See, here in Vegas, you know, outside of apartments, if you want to lease a house, condo, townhome, a lot of times it's done by realtors because they actually go in the MLS. And Nevada is actually a very unique state. It is where you actually have to be not only a real estate agent to handle leases, but you actually have to be certified. So the rental agents, the people who handle it, what we call property managers, actually have to go through an additional 24 hours to become a property manager. And so all of the houses that are managed by property managers, you know, they are in the MLS and are usually handled by realtors. So it creates a unique situation where you got to find yourself a realtor to go and find a house for lease. Well, here's the thing. A lot of real estate agents don't want to help people find leases.
Oh, no.
And today what I want to do is go over why that happens. I want to go over some of my experiences, the experiences of other agents, and then hopefully you'll kind of understand where we're coming from. And it's not just me. When I started out, it was like, hey, no, not a big deal, whatever, do, who cares? So I'm going to go through some experiences, and I'm going to start with like the latest one. So a lot of realtors, especially once you get fairly experienced, will not help anybody with a rental / lease unless the they're like a referral, or they know the person. They've had a previous real estate dealing with them. Let's say they're selling their house. They need to go into a lease for a reason, maybe short term, or maybe it's a relative of theirs moving into town, or a friend or something. Then they'll usually handle a lease. If it's just somebody, you know, calling out saying like, hey, can you help with this lease? No, maybe, I mean, they usually won't do it. It's like, hey, I don't do leases. A lot of new agents will do it because, you know, hey, it's some extra money for them. So a lot of new agents will still do leases until they become experienced, one, or two, start realizing, oh my goodness, I'm wasting a lot of my time. So over this kind of weekend, what ended up happening is I was supposed to be getting a referral from an agent I knew who was a broker out in another state. And so I thought the person was buying. So I get a phone call. And so I think because the our area code is from, you know, the area this person was from, I thought this was the person. After talking to them, it's like, oh, I want to lease a place. I'm like, oh, okay, I thought you were buying. It's like, oh no, I don't want to buy right now. I'll lease for a bit. You know, you'll get that one a lot. Okay, well, I normally don't do leases, but no, since you're referred by this person, remember, she just said she was referred to me. I didn't get a name or anything. And I'm going to go ahead and skip to the end just a little bit so you're not sitting around going, oh, wow, that's interesting. So after I had finished showing the person the lease, all of the houses, I get a call from the person I was actually waiting for. So the referral actually called me like right after I finished showing the person the house about the house they're gonna buy. So this was not the person. So I don't know if this was like an additional person that they, you know, so like, hey, you're out in Vegas, call this agent, or if it was just some rando, I don't know. Which is also leading to the next part. So we go through everything. We do a Zoom meeting. We go through all of their housing choices. We pick out places to go see. We talk about everything, set up a time to go out. and we go out and show her the houses. And when you're put in for a lease here in the Las Vegas area, what normally happens is there's two processes. Process one is it's online, and each of the property management companies will have their own system if they do it online. So you'll just go to their online portal, put in what they want. Process two, there's actually a process kind of like if you're buying a house, all the forms and everything through the MLS. Some of the smaller ones will do that because, you know, they can't afford the online portals and everything. So you don't know which one you're going to get. Now, process two, the smaller one, with the smaller brokerages or property managers, it's tedious for the agent because you've got to fill out 1,000,000 pieces of information. It's like 12 pages long. You got to collect oh my goodness, you got the cars they own, the license plates of the cars, all the names of all the people who are going to be living there, social security numbers of every person 18 and older in the house, their complete credit histories, every place they've lived for up to 10 years. You got to collect all of this. I mean, you could give it to the person. 9 times out of 10, they're going to fill it out incorrectly, which means you get do it. And then a lot of the smaller places, they want the agent to fill it out and bring it to them and everything. It's exhausting. Now, getting back to this case. So I go through all of this, and fortunately, all the places we saw were online. Send all of the information from places she wanted to put in applications for how to go to their portals and put in the information, and then she's like, okay. And then I text her back. It's okay, like, you know, did you put in your applications? Ghosted. And there goes another one. So basically, she got someone to sit around, show her places, probably went in, applied. Now she's got what she's wanted, and she's ghosting me. Unless she doesn't get approved and she's got to go and find other places, then she doesn't care anymore. And that's where the problem comes. She's wasted my time by going around, and she's ghosted me, and I have no idea what's going on. Now, here's why it's important. You only get paid a very, very small amount for rentals here in Las Vegas. That's another reason the agents don't want to do it. It's usually about $250. Now, you'll say, hey, $250, that's a lot of money. And it could be. Sometimes you got to work for that $250. I mean, work to a point where it's not even minimum wage. It's not even $4 or $5 an hour. Now, in this case, it would have been, no, we didn't spend that much time together, so it would have been kind of worthwhile. But, you know, many times it's really not worthwhile. And that's why I'm going to go into some of the stories why each time I helped somebody with a rental, it was like, this is the last time. So I need to know who she applied with so I can track it. So if she gets, approved for the rental, I can submit the information I need to submit to at least get that money. Now, people don't care if you get your money or not. I mean, that's just life. But it gets worse when you're just looking for that $250. So let's get into some of the stories. And these stories are not unique, and I can tell some stories of some other agents. Here's a story. This is when I was in a mode where I'd go help folks. There was a lady, she needed a Section 8 rental. Again, I say anyone who needs a place to live, they got the means to pay for it, they should be able to stay there, right? And she wanted to stay in a certain part of town that was like very far away from where I'm usually at. And she told me she was Section 8, it's no big deal. At the time, you had to find Section 8 housing for people, find the people who are willing to do it. So I go through all of that, give her all the housing choices she had, and we, go to that part of, I set up everything to go to that part to look for everything. She says she wants to see this one house. I'm like, don't want to see anything else. Nope, I want to see this one place. So go over to the other side of town, drive 45 minutes over there, get there, see the place. She likes it, and I'm like, okay, cool. I can go back and I can put in the application because this one required the long form. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to start the basic information. I got about 1 million questions to ask you. Yep. Let's put in this application. I'm saying before I go back, I had to drive 45 minutes all the way over here. Do you want to look at any of the other places that are over on this side of town that will take Section 8? There's about 3 other places. She's like, nope, this is the one. This is what I want. I do not want to look at anything else. Okay, we'll get. I'll head on back. I'll put in the application. I drive back. I start filling out the stuff. I give her a call, and she goes, well, I don't want to put in an application on that place. I actually went back because they had a tenant in there. I talked to the tenant. I found out they weren't leaving until, 2 months from now. I need the place next month. So that's not going to work for me. So I need you to drive back here and show me those 3 other places.
Oh, no.
You listening to me? She needs me to drive back to the other side of town and show me the 3 other places. I'm like, well, didn't I ask you that question before we left? And you said, no, this is it. And she was like, yeah, but when I drove back and I asked them the question, they said they couldn't move until 2 months from now, and I need the place now. I need you to drive back here. It's like, no, I've come back. I'm not driving to the other side of town when I asked you that question before I left. She's like, you're not going to drive back here and show me these 3 other places? I was like, no, I was there and asked you that question. She's like, okay, thanks. Fast forward a few months. She's like, I was just wondering, can you help me? I'm like, well, what's going on? Well, I gave this agent all of this money to help me find a Section 8 place, and they've disappeared, and they're not helping me, and I can't contact them or anything. I was like, you paid an agent up front? She's like, yeah, and they've disappeared with all of my money. What am I to do? I don't know. Another Section 8 story. Lady calls me out of the blue, looking for Section 8 rentals. I was like, one, I don't do rentals, and 2, Section 8s are hard to find this time of year. It's the middle of moving season. It's like, I really can't help you, ma'am. And she's like, nobody's helping me, and I have a Section 8 voucher, and I've got these 3 kids, and if we don't find a place in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to lose my voucher. And then she starts like bawling on the phone about, I'm like, I can't even imitate the way this woman was bawling. And they must have been the best fake tears ever. About how she was going to lose everything and her kids were going to end up on the streets and everything. And it was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be the super captain here. I'm going to save these kids. Man, I was just calling everybody in town, and I was communicating with her and everything, and I'm going through doing all this stuff, and I'm going to save these kids. Then all of a sudden, she stopped answering my phone. All of a sudden, she stopped answering her texts, emails. What in the world's going on here? She ghosted me. Do you know why? She pulled that same act with a whole bunch of other realtors crying on the phone, and had all the realtors running around town who probably weren't going to help her in the first place, but did because she was bawling on the phone. And once she got what she wanted, she was done, and she ghosted the rest of us. Out of doing it again. No more rentals. Like a fool. Another one. Gonna help a friend out. She was headed to Japan. Had a friend coming to town, need to see some rentals. Don't want to get into the profession. The person was supposed to be a high professional. We'll say the level of doctor, lawyer, or something like that. Needed a high-end rental in Summerlin. Already had the place picked out. Just needed me to go and show it to them so they could see it. That was it. I wasn't even going to write it up in my name. Just do it for them, doing a favor. No problem. So get in contact with the person. It's like, oh no, we're there for the weekend. We want to see every place for rent in Summerlin. I'm like, what? I was told you were just coming to see these one or two places. She's like, oh no, we're there for the weekend and we're going to see every house that's available in Summerlin.
What?
I'm like, that's kind of excessive to see every single house that's available in Summerlin. No, we're going to see every house that's available in Summerlin over this weekend. Now, remember when I said you normally only get paid $250? Well, when you work it out, to see every house in Summerlin, to do the paperwork, to do all of the pre-work that you need to do, you do the same pre-work to do when you're searching for a house for somebody who's buying it, it will come out to be about $3 an hour. I'm like, I don't think I can do that for you, especially for a favor. Contact the person in Japan, and they're like, no, that's not what they told me. They told me they had, something already picked out, and they were just coming to see it and make sure it would fit their needs, and that was it. Again, out of rentals. As a matter of fact, this person's mother, she's an agent also. She had a case where somebody asked her to show somebody rentals, and she went to show the person rentals, and as she's talking to the person, it's like, you realize you can actually buy a home, right? Why don't you just buy a home? It was like, well, no one ever told us we could actually buy a home. We've always rented. Well, that's a good idea. Maybe we should. So she going back, this person was who referred her was actually another agent in the firm we were with at the time. And she calls the person up. It's like, you realize this person could actually buy a home? And he's like, shh, yeah, I know. I'm planning to sell them a home next year when their lease is up. So it's like, well, why did you give them to me to go find a rental? Because he didn't want to waste the time. Agents do that all the time. When they have somebody who needs a rental, they'll just find somebody else to shop them around because they don't want to waste their time with them. It's that big of a deal. Because people, you think it's a rental. You're there for a year or two, right? You're gone. Sometimes these people in rentals, you've seen them. They're there for 10 years, 20 years. To them, it's their home. So you can kind of understand that. It's their home. So they're there forever for them. So they want to shop for it. It's like their home. Well, it's hard to explain. To them, spending 3 weekends looking for the perfect rental is not a big deal. Spending 3 weekends for that agent is 3 weekends they could have been showing buyers where they could have made a good commission instead of making $250. So that's where the issue comes in. And after a couple of times of that happening to them, that agent just stops. And it happens over and over. It's just like, hey, I can't do this. I got to feed my family. No, fortunately for me, I don't have to feed my family because I'm retired. But, hey, I see where they come from and why they stop quickly. And I can tell you stories like this until the cows come home. So this is kind of like a rant, and it started because of being ghosted this weekend. And, hopefully you guys got a little bit of something out of this. Letting me rant while I'm driving because of being ghosted by somebody after trying to help them out. And you want to hear me rant some more, especially when stuff comes on my mind, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like this, of course, because that's what the YouTube algorithms are saying these days. And I keep coming out with this stuff every week. See you guys another time. Bye.